Jeff Gordon and his team set the standard for NASCAR excellence and brought home to this museum the 1997 Winston Cup Championship trophy. Hello, everyone. I'm Dave Despain. We welcome you to Charlotte, North Carolina. My good friend Benny Parsons and I kind of ready to relax here at the end of a terrific championship season.
You know, and Jeff Gordon was more than a 1997 champion. He also won the Winston Million, only the second time that's been done. And also, for the second year in a row, Jeff Gordon won 10 races. This team, awesome in 1997.
Winning, that's the measure of a champion. That is one measure of a champion. Another pretty good yardstick of the guy at the top of the heap is the guys he beat. And then there is Gordon. From the moment he won his first Daytona 500, we knew Jeff was the man to beat for the 97 Winston Cup Championship. Anyone who doubted that fact was soon confronted with the impressive evidence, Gordon's 10 wins in the first 23 races. Then again, the multicolored 24 suffered enough missteps along the way to keep things interesting, to sustain the hopes of the folks who now pull for anybody but Gordon. Success has its price. Cut tires in 2 of the last 4 races prevented the Hendrick Motorsports outfit from icing the cake early. Gordon added the final drama himself, spinning out while warming his tires en route to practice for the Atlanta finale. That led to a 37th place qualifying effort. Though it was not an artistic success, that final race of the year again proved that poise under pressure is the strong suit of the Rainbow Warriors. They did what they had to do when they had to do it. And the reward is the 97 Winston Cup Championship. You know, at the end of the day, these are 3 very different guys, Benny, but when you cut down to the core, I think what you find is the same guy inside a racer.
Exactly. All 3 of these guys are racers and have been racers for a long, long time. Jeff Gordon is only 26 years old, but he started when he was about 5 years old. And they also drive for racers. Rick Hendrick helped Ray Hendrick back in the 60s with his modified. Jack Rouse, Robert Yates, they've been around this business a long, long time.
Welcome back to the NASCAR Winston Cup rearview mirror. A look back at Jeff Gordon's 97 championship season. Pair it with the 95 crown, and you have bookends for the 96 champion, Terry Labonte. And, of course, the guy at the top of the heap has the most to worry about in 1995. Jeff Gordon won his first championship 2 years later. He's back on top of the float in Atlanta, celebrating championship number 2. When we come back, we'll talk to the champion. 1985, the first year they ran for $1 million at Darlington. Bill Elliott took all the money home to North Georgia. 12 years later, Jeff Gordon managed the same accomplishment, pulled off the big prize on Labor Day weekend in one of the most spectacular finishes of the 97 season. And Benny, I'm kind of a student of the letters to the editor. I like to know what the fans are thinking, so I read those letters whenever I can. I continue to be amazed at the number of people who accuse Gordon and the Rainbow Warriors of stroking around in the second half of this season trying to protect the championship. Come on.
Folks, he just told you, they won the Winston Million. They also won the Winston in Charlotte. They won 10 races in 1997. As far as the championship, yes, they finished 17th in Atlanta or something. But, folks, on Saturday when Jeff Gordon crashed the primary car, the thought went in the back of their mind, we might be in trouble. And then Sunday, that first pit stop, that 25-lap mandatory pit stop, they took the tires off and they were worn out. Now, what did you expect them to do at that point, folks? Just, okay, we're going to try to run 12th and maybe take a chance on blowing a tire? No, let's try to win the championship. And that's exactly what they did.
Bottom line, this is one of those years when the guy who won the most races also won the big prize. And when it was all over, he won the biggest thrill of all, the opportunity to sit down and talk to Bill Weber about what it all means.
First of all, Jeff, just your thoughts on the 1997 season.
Oh, boy. So many emotions, so many exciting things. I mean, I basically have to look at the whole year, you know, and go back and recap on everything that got us to the championship battle here in Atlanta. But, you know, just the big wins, the number of wins. I mean, we basically had a career year. I mean, for me, for the team, for Rick Hendrick. And it's a great feeling. It's such a sigh of relief to, you know, cross that line and say, whew, you know, we did it. What a year. I mean, it's going to be a year that you know, it's going to be hard to measure up to, and the only thing that could complete it as a career year was winning that championship, and to do it not only for ourselves but really for Rick Hendrick. I mean, he's had such a tough year, but when it was all over, boy, yeah, I know he had a smile on his face, and that right there in itself, gives me a lot of satisfaction.
For a while on Saturday, it looked like your championship team may have been unraveling. You put on a good face for everyone then, but now that it's over, now that you have won the championship, tell us how you were really feeling.
Oh, my nerves were shot. I mean, every muscle in my body was tense. I really honestly haven't slept for 2 weeks ever since Phoenix, and I basically been saying, yeah, I'm fine. And I have to do that, because you can't let your competitors, you can't let the media, you can't let anybody know that things could be getting to you, or they'll know where your weaknesses are. And I still felt good about what our chances were to win the championship, but I was like, oh boy, what have we done? What have I done? Here I go out there, wrecked a great race car on pit road. Then we go out with the backup car, had a shot at a top 10 in qualifying, and made a mistake and dropped some oil on the track, and ended up, barely getting into the show. So, today, that's what makes it so much sweeter and so satisfying to go through a day like that and then back it up by, I'm sure a lot of people had doubts. A lot of people were probably counting us out, saying, boy, we got them right where we want them. And, we were able to come through. And that just shows how great this team really is, and why we got to this point, because of the hard work and the dedication, the focus that they've had all year long. And it'd have been disappointing to have lost it, on a situation like that, to come down to the final race. But to be able to pull it off makes it so much sweeter and so satisfying.
Can you explain Ray Evernham's influence on you?
This team would never be as intense and have the focus that they have, if it wasn't for Ray Evernham. I mean, he is just so adamant about, what it takes to be a winner, and he's a great coach, and he's a great demonstrator to be able to put that kind of incentive in, not only to me but the entire team. And ever since he and I have gotten together, it's like magic, and he creates, this atmosphere around him with his guys, with the guys on the team, and with myself, that it's hard not to be able to go out there and win when you're driving a race car that he's working on.
Is this team close to filling in that bottom box on the checklist in your shop?
I don't know if we can ever, become a dynasty in our lifetime. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we have to keep somebody around to be able to check that off when we're gone. I mean, that to me is almost an unaccomplishable thing while I'm still driving. And I don't think we can decide whether that dynasty check mark can be marked off. But I can tell you, this is a step towards that, and this is heading in the right direction.
No, Benny, I guess it's inevitable when you have so much success so soon. I'm reading the article about the possibility that Jeff Gordon might win 200 races in his career and tie Richard Petty's record. All the speculation about how many championships he wins. The future for this kid is wide open.
It really is wide open. And you also talk about reading. There was a story that Ray Evernham and Jeff Gordon was going to be splitting up. Evernham said, now, where in the world did they get that? Evernham has his sights set on higher things, maybe, running this whole operation around here under Jimmy Johnson or something, but they're not going anyplace. And Jeff Gordon can win as many championships as he wants to. He's only 26 years old, but, how much longer will he continue in the rat race? Maybe when he's 35 years old, he's going to have all the money that he ever is going to need, so maybe he's going to sit down and say, hey, I've had enough.
Bottom line, the guy's pretty smart, too, huh?
Pretty smart. Just after the championship, he goes in the hospital, has laser surgery. He's got a polyp in his throat. Laser, they take the thing off, so when he goes to New York and gets that $1.5 million or $1.7 million, he can thank everybody and speak very clearly.
We clearly need to take a commercial break, but we'll be back with more of this NASCAR Winston Cup rearview mirror right after this.
And then give one from somebody just holding one.
When we go to Daytona next year, they're dead even in the championship standings. They're all going to be trying to dethrone Jeff Gordon. When we come back, a final thought.
The NASCAR Winston Cup rearview mirror is brought to you by Quaker State, the quality a car deserves.
As we approach the end of this 97 NASCAR rear view mirror, I find myself wondering how many more of these Winston Cups this kid Gordon is likely to go out and win. And yeah, I did call him a kid because he's so much younger than all of these heroes, all of these legends he's in the process of dethroning. And he's not a very big guy, stands about this tall, and yet he casts this giant shadow across the landscape of American motorsport. Winston Cup is the biggest thing in racing, and Jeff Gordon is by far the biggest thing in Winston Cup. He is heir to Richard Petty, who established this as legitimate sport, heir to Darrell Waltrip, who defined the stock car driver as media star and corporate spokesman, heir to Earnhardt, who still triggers unrivaled fan passion. He's the right man at the right time, hero for this sport's multi-million-dollar future. People magazine handsome, TV soundbite articulate, corporate America compatible. Right man in the right place, teamed early with the best crew chief in the business, snapped up quickly by the top organization in the sport. Most important, he is the right man with the right tools. Whatever else you think about him, acknowledge that Jeff Gordon can drive hell out of a race car. Put it all together, and you have a championship package. Not just for 97, not just for the second time in 3 seasons. What we have here may well be the yardstick by which Winston Cup greatness is measured for years and years to come. You know, Benny, the last line on that sign in Gordon's shop of all his goals is to become a dynasty. 2 championships in 3 years. Is he even within shooting distance of that?
I don't really know how you define that word dynasty, but if you look around here and you see the 3 championships in the last 3 years, Hendrick Motorsports is pretty close to a dynasty.
They got a pretty good run at it. Let's look ahead a little bit. There's so much talk. Everybody's trying to find the next Jeff Gordon. Do you see anybody out there on the horizon that has that kind of potential?
I don't really know who's going to be the next Jeff Gordon because they're all looking for him. You know, Robert Yates goes out and hires Kenny Irwin, and I think next year's rookie battle is going to be a great battle between Irwin, Steve Park driving for Dale Earnhardt, and Jerry Nadeau driving for Bill Elliott.
Another year working with the big guy, and the fact that we are about to launch the celebration of NASCAR's 50th anniversary. It's going to be a great year. Thank you, Benny Parsons. I'm Dave Despain, and that's it for the NASCAR Winston Cup Rearview Mirror.